Students of class 11, a very good morning to you. And in the first chapter, I think we have completed up to 27 problems, and in the last class we discussed about bijection, how to prove a function is both one-to-one and onto, and we did few problems based on it. Now problem number 28 and 29 will be given to you as a homework. So after completing those two problems, then you continue with this. Problem number 30. The total cost of airfare on a given route is comprised of the base cost C and the fuel charge S in rupees. Both C and S are functions of mileage M, where C of M is given by the equation 0.4 M plus 50 and S of M is given by 0.03 M. M means mileage. Now we need to determine the function for the total cost of a ticket in terms of mileage and find the airfare for flying 1600 miles. So when you see the question, it looks like a very long question. Don't get confused. The theme is this, that is, two functions are given to us. One is C of M, other one is S of M. C of M is nothing but base cost. S of M is nothing but mileage cost. What we want to find is, we need to find the amount for flying 1600 miles. So let us see the answer. Now if you see, these are the two conditions given to us, that is two functions. Cost function, this is mileage function, this is given to us. Now we are going to calculate total cost. What is the total cost? We should add base cost as well as mileage cost. So we should add these two functions. So add these two numbers. 0.4 plus 0.03 gives 0.43 M plus 50. So we are adding these two and getting this answer. What we want the cost for flying 1600 miles. So take M as 1600 and substitute in the above equation. 0.43 in place of M I am writing 1600 and then 50. Multiply these two and then add with 50 and we get the answer as rupees 738 is the total airfare. I think question looks big, but the answer is very simple. We will go for the next problem. Problem number 31. A salesperson whose annual earnings can be represented by the function A of X. So this is a function of what? The annual earnings of a salesperson. This is nothing but annual earnings of a salesperson, where X is the rupee value of the merchandise he sells. So how much product he sells, that much of amount he will get, that is nothing but X. So his son is also in sales. His son is also in sales and his earnings are represented by the function S of X is equal to 25,000 plus 0.05x. So what is A of X? Father's income. S of X is nothing but son's earning. So we should find A plus S of X, which means we should find the total income of both father and son, and also determine the total family income if they each sell rupees 1 crore 50 lakh worth of merchandise. Suppose if they are selling a product worth rupees 1.5 crores, what is the total income of the family? That is the question. So again, this question is also looking big, but if you see the content, A of X is nothing but father's income, S of X is nothing but son's income. We need to find the income of both of them. Also we should find the total income of the family if they sell product amount worth rupees 1.5 crores or 1 crore 50 lakh rupees. Shall we see the answer now? So the answer is like this. First I am writing what are the given two things, A of X and S of X. What is A of X? You know, father's income. S of X is nothing but son's income. We need to find the income together. So total income is equal to, add these two functions, A of X and S of X. You know very well how to add two terms. 30,000 plus 25,000, right? 55,000. 0.04x plus 0.05x. The answer is 0.09x. So this is nothing but total income, right? Now, how much they are selling, the father and son together, how much product that they are selling? 1.5 crore. So I am going to replace x by 1.5 crores in this equation. So by doing that, we can easily calculate what is the total income of the family. So total income is equal to 55,000 plus 0.09. In place of x, what should I do? I should substitute the amount of product that they are selling. How much amount for they are selling? 1.5 crores. So substitute in place of x 1.5 crore, or otherwise 1 crore 50 lakh. Simplify these two first. You should not add 55,000 and 0.09 first. First you should multiply these two. That answer should be added with 55,000, and the final answer is nothing but 14 lakh 5,000 rupees is the total income of the family. Hope this is also a very simple sum. So we will pass on for the next one. Problem number 32. The formula for converting from Fahrenheit to Celsius temperature is given by a relation. Y is equal to 5x by 9 minus 160 by 9. So what is this equation represents? It is the formula used for converting Fahrenheit to Celsius temperature. Okay, what we need to find? Find the inverse of this function. We know that this is a function. We need to find the inverse of the function and determine whether the inverse is also a function or not. So since they have given one equation, we need to find the inverse of this and also verify whether the inverse is also a function or not. Before going into the answer, we will recall what is meant by bijection, which we saw in the previous class. Bijection means a function which is both one-to-one as well as onto. This can be called as a bijective function, right? Here I am going to do in the same method that we did in the previous class. I am going to try and prove this function is a bijection. Bijection means what? One-to-one and onto. How we will actually do that? We do using two conditions. Can you remember what are the two conditions? Can you just tell by yourself? Yes, the first condition is what? The first condition is F composite G is equal to Y and G composite F is equal to X. So if we can able to prove these two results, we will say that the function is both one-to-one and onto. In this problem, I am going to do the same thing. A function was given. I am going to try and prove that it is one-to-one and onto. So can you remember the steps that involved in finding one-to-one and onto? If you don't, just see this. Y is equal to f of x is equal to, actually this is the given equation. What we added is f of x, because we know y and f of x both are equal. So y is equal to f of x. This is the given question. Now if you see the rough column, we have taken y and f of x are equal. So what happens for x? When f goes to other side, it becomes f inverse, right? F goes to other side becomes f inverse. So x can be rewritten as f inverse y. Okay. Now I am coming back to the question. Y is equal to, since these two terms having same denominator, just put that 9 and combine the numerator as it is. So 5x minus 160 by 9. This is the value for what? Y. From this, I am going to try and calculate the value of x. How to do that? First cross multiply this 9y. Bring this minus 160 to this side and make it as plus 160. So 5x alone remains in the right hand side, out of which take 5 to the other side and becomes minus 5. So x value now we got, x is equal to 9y plus 160 by 5. Now if you see the rough column, you can easily understand x and f inverse y are equal. So now I am going to replace this x, take x and put what? F inverse y. So in place of x I have written f inverse y is equal to 9y plus 160 by 5. Now I am seeing this carefully. F inverse y is nothing but a function of y. If you see this equation, you can easily say that f inverse y is nothing but function of y. So I am going to give a peculiar name for that as g of y. G of y means it is a function of y. So instead of writing f inverse of y, what I am naming it? I am naming it as g of y. It is a function of y. How we have named y as f of x. Similarly, f inverse of y is renamed as g of y. G of y means a function of y. So if I come from the beginning, we have started from y. Now we got g of y. Or even I can say like this, f of x was given to us, we simplified and we found out g of y. So now we know both f of x and g of y. Now we can go for those two conditions. What are the two conditions? First I will try to calculate f composite g. The formula is, I hope that everybody have gone through the formulas properly before coming into this. If you don't, please don't see this video, go for the previous video and memorize the formula and come back here. So f composite g is nothing but f of g of y. F composite g, how to write? F of g of y. What is g of y? In the above line itself we are having the answer, 9y plus 160 by 5. This is the value for g of y. So in place of g of y, substitute that. Now if you see this, f of 9y plus 160 by 5 is coming here, right? F of 9y plus 160 by 5. But we are having a formula like this, f of x. What is f of x? See the question. What is f of x? 5x minus 160 divided by 9. This is the value for f of x. So try to understand. F of x means what we have to do? Write 5 and then put this x. Then you put minus 160 and divide that entire term by 9. Now what I am going to do is, I am going to imagine that the term which is present in the bracket, I am going to imagine that as x. So in place of x, we are having this. So how to write using this formula? If x is present, I should write 5x. Since this is x, 5 into this minus 160 whole divided by 9. Try to understand. And 5 gets cancelled. 160 minus 160 gets cancelled. The balance remaining is 9y by 9. 9 gets cancelled. So f composite g is equal to just y. What we have proved? F composite g is equal to y. One condition we have got. What is the other condition? G composite f we need to find, and the answer should be x, right? So I am calculating G composite f now. Since f composite g is written as f of g of y, G composite f can be written as g of f of x. In that, write the value of f of x, that is 5x minus 160 by 9. Now if you see what is g of y, can you remember? I am going to write here, just look at it. G of y is equal to 9y plus 160 whole divided by 5. Actually this is the value for g of y. But in this bracket I am going to consider this entire term as y. Which term? 5x minus 160 by 9. This treated as y. So g of y means I have to expand it as 9y plus 160 by 5. So how to expand g of this? 9 into y, which means 9 into this entire term plus 160 whole divided by 5. 9 cancel, minus 160 plus 160 gets cancelled. Remaining is 5x by 5. 5 also will go. So now we have proved G composite f is equal to x. First we have proved what? F composite g equal to y. Now the result comes as G composite f is equal to x. We are very happy because the two results shows that f is a bijective function. Bijective means what? Both 1-to-1 and on-to. So f is a bijective function. What is the meaning of bijective function? If a function is bijective, then we have a result called its inverse is also a function. Now since we have proved that f is a bijective function, therefore we can take this result, the inverse is also a function. This is what we need to prove. In this problem, this is what we need to prove. Find the inverse and prove that it is also a function. Since f is a bijective function, the inverse will also be a function. So here the problem is over. But they have asked us find the inverse, right? Find the inverse means we are using equation 1. From equation 1, Just understand carefully. From equation 1, now I am going to write equation 1 for you. Equation 1 I am going to write here, that is F inverse, or I will write here, right? Equation 1 is nothing but F inverse y is equal to 9y plus 160 whole divided by 5. This is F inverse y. That is what here I have written from equation 1. From this equation, we are writing the value for F inverse of x. What I have to do? In place of y, just you put x. In place of y, just you put x. So F inverse of x is equal to, just here also in place of y you put x. 9x plus 160 whole divided by 5. So at last we proved that inverse is also a function, and F inverse x, the inverse value is this. This we got from equation 1. I hope you will understand this. Now shall we pass on for the next topic? The next topic is nothing but graphing functions using transformations. The name itself will tell you some meaning. The graphing functions using transformations. We are going to graph the function using some transformation. Under that, we are having 3 types. Graphing function using transformation, under that heading we are having 3 types, out of which the first type is called reflection. What is the meaning of reflection? Actually I should give the definition, but for time being I am not going to give the big definition. Instead of giving definition, I am going to give a diagram for example. So this is the diagram through which we are going to understand what is meant by reflection. Can you able to understand? We are not going to see the definition, but instead of definition, we are going to see the diagram and understand the concept, reflection. So now we will look at this diagram. This is nothing but a straight line. This is nothing but a straight line, where this is a curve. And if you see this, almost if I see this, I can understand some connection between f and f dash. What I am going to say is, this line L acts as a mirror. This line L acts as a mirror for this curve. Such diagram are called reflection. Such diagrams are called reflection. For example, suppose if f is equal to, this is not actually I am writing this for just for example. Suppose if f is equal to, suppose I am writing some 2x square plus 3. F is equal to 2x square plus, if f is this, try to understand, if f is this, then its reflection f dash is nothing but negative of that 2x square plus 3. Could you able to understand? Try to understand what is meant by reflection. F is a curve, f dash is another curve which is nothing but the negative of this. Then if you draw the diagram, it gives a reflection. What is the meaning of reflection? If you see the diagram with respect to this line, this looks as a mirror image of this. So that is called reflection. When reflection will come into the graph, if the two functions are differs only in symbol, one is plus, another one is minus, means reflection comes. Could you able to understand? This f is nothing but mirror image of f dash, or even I can say f dash is nothing but mirror image of f. Such type of diagrams are called reflection. When reflection will come, if f is a function, f dash is another function which is nothing but opposite sign of f, then we will get reflection curves. Okay, we will pass on for the next second subdivision. The second subdivision is nothing but translation. The heading is translation. As I said earlier, I am not going to write the definition for translation. Just through this example, you try to understand what is the meaning of translation. Now, if you see this diagram, I think you can able to see 3 colors here. Y is equal to modulus x. y is equal to modulus x is drawn in black color. See, I am going to just show the diagram for you. It comes like this and it goes like this. So this is called what? Y is equal to modulus x. It passes through the origin. V-shaped diagram, black color, is called y is equal to modulus x. If you see the green color, the equation is given like this: y is equal to modulus of x minus 1. Y is equal to modulus of x minus 1. The meaning is, if you see the two curves, the difference is only minus 1. Here y equal to modulus x, here also y equal to modulus is present, but in place of x we are having x minus 1. If it is like this, the diagram has to be translated. It has to be moved 1 unit to the right hand side. If it is minus 1, the graph has to be just moved to the right hand side for 1 unit. Could you able to understand? Could you able to understand this? Y is equal to modulus x. This is V-shaped diagram which passes through origin. And another one is y is equal to modulus x minus 1. Y is equal to modulus x minus 1. If you see this, the difference between this and this, if you see, this is x and this is x minus 1. We can easily draw the diagram by shifting the same graph just to the right hand side for 1 unit. That is how the green graph comes. It is nothing but the translation of this black diagram to 1 unit in the right hand side. Suppose, we will see another example here. See the red color. Y is equal to modulus x plus 1. So the diagram is like this. Y is equal to modulus x plus 1. If you see, y is equal to mod x, and this is y is equal to modulus x plus 1. Since plus 1 is present, if the difference for this and this is nothing but this is x and this is x plus 1. Suppose if plus 1 is present, I should move the graph to the left hand side for 1 unit. Understand deeply and try to take in your mind the concept. Y equal to modulus x is nothing but the diagram, V-shaped diagram which passes through origin. Y equal to mod x minus 1 is nothing but again a V-shaped diagram, but it will not pass through origin. It will move 1 unit from the origin to the right hand side. Minus 1 means I should move to the right hand side. X plus 1 means the same diagram should be moved to left hand side for 1 unit. Now can you guess what will be y is equal to modulus x plus 2? Can you guess what is the diagram, how the diagram looks when y is equal to modulus x plus 2? Plus 2 means which direction you will go? You will go to the left hand side for 2 units. So in minus 2 you will have V-shaped diagram in minus 2. So such a movement to the right hand side and to the left hand side is called translation. Such a movement is called translation. We will go for the last type called dilation. Now dilation also, the definition we are not going to see, just we will see few examples through the diagram. We will try to understand what is meant by dilation. Now here also you can find 3 colors. The first color is the red one. The red one is nothing but, suppose for example the curve equation is given by y is equal to, first we will see the black diagram which is nothing but y is equal to x square. Listen, this black curve, the name of the curve is y is equal to x square. If you see another curve is the red color curve, y is equal to 2x square. So what is the difference between this and this? If you see the difference between this and this in equation, this is x square, this is 2x square. That is the only difference. This is x square, this is 2x square. What we want to say is, if y is equal to x square is a diagram that we know, y is equal to 2x square is a diagram which will contract with y axis. It gets contracted towards y axis. If you see, this is expanded, this is contracted. Suppose if I draw the diagram y is equal to 3x square, suppose if I draw this diagram, it will come somewhere here. Even it will get contracted more. It comes closer to y axis. So y is equal to 3x square. This is nothing but y is equal to 3x. 4x square means it will come even closer. 5 means closer. So the number keeps on increasing, the curve becomes closer. If you see the other example here, y is equal to 1 by 2x square. This is x square, this is 2x square, 3. When a number keeps on multiplying, the curve gets contracted towards y axis. Suppose if y is equal to 1 by 2x square, if I see the x square, 1 by 2 is present, which is lesser than 1, right? This 2, 3 are greater than 1. This is a number which is lesser than 1. Then the curve expands. See this curve? This is the curve, y is equal to 1 by 2 x square. So it expands. This concept is called dilation. So translation, and this concept is called dilation. And once again, I will explain you. Y is equal to x square is nothing but the basic diagram that is drawn in a black ink, that is called y is equal to x square. Y equal to 2x square is the diagram which gets contracted towards y axis. If the coefficient becomes larger, the curve gets contracted. If the coefficient becomes smaller than 1, the curve gets expanded, or it goes towards x-axis. If it is even lesser, if I take 1 by 3, 1 by 4, the curve will come like this. So try to understand the concept of reflection, translation and dilation. Using these concepts, we will see few problems. Problem number 33. For the curve y is equal to x cube given in the diagram, draw these 4 curves. This is the question. What is the question? For the curve y is equal to x cube given in the diagram. So diagram will be given to us. For the curve which is given in the diagram, you draw these 4 diagrams that they are telling. So what are the 4 questions that we need to do? Y equal to minus x cube first one. Second one, y equal to x cube plus 1. Third, y is equal to x cube minus 1. And fourth one is y is equal to x plus 1 the whole cube. So these 4 diagrams we have to draw using this diagram. This diagram will be given in the question. We will see that now. So actually this is the question. Question for what? The diagram was given to us. Y is equal to x cube. This is the diagram. If this is the diagram, we need to find 4 things, out of which first one is y is equal to minus x cube. What is this? Y equal to x cube. What is this? Minus x cube. So same thing, only differs with minus symbol. What is the meaning? Reflection. Reflection means, since this is the given diagram, when it looks like a mirror, it will just turn like this. So this is the diagram for y is equal to minus x cube, because this and this are nothing but differs only with minus sign. So reflection concept will be applied. So just this part will go here and this part will come here, and the diagram looks like this. So when you know what is meant by reflection, you can easily draw this diagram. And the second subdivision that is being asked to us is y is equal to x cube plus 1. Draw the diagram for this. We know the diagram. This diagram was given in the question, y is equal to x cube. Now see the difference between this and this. This is x cube. This is nothing but just plus 1. X cube plus 1. What is the meaning? X cube plus 1. What is the meaning? The y value, this y value is x cube. Here y value is increased by 1. Try to understand. Y value is increased by 1. So what I have to do? Just in this graph, you increase this, you just elevate this curve for 1 unit in y axis. Just take this curve 1 unit above y axis. Children, can you be able to understand? Y is equal to x cube is the original diagram given. What we have to do? X cube plus 1 we have to do. What is the difference between this and this? Y value is increased by 1. So if you see the diagram gets elevated for 1 unit in y axis. See, this passes through origin. This is elevated to 1 unit. Otherwise I can say the coefficient here is 1. So 1 unit the diagram gets elevated. That is how from this we are drawing this. If you see the third subdivision, y is equal to x cube minus 1. X cube minus 1 means see the difference, y equal to x cube, and here it is y is equal to x cube minus 1. Can you identify the difference? This is x cube, this is x cube minus 1. What is the reason? The y value is reduced by 1 here. Y value gets reduced by 1. So if you see this diagram, what I am doing, this passes through origin, but if you see this diagram passes through minus 1, because the diagram gets downwards of y axis to 1 unit. It gets downwards to 1 unit in y axis. This gets elevated, this gets dropped down to 1 unit in y axis because of this minus 1. Okay, we will go for the fourth subdivision. And the fourth subdivision is this: y is equal to x plus 1 the whole cube. If you see the original diagram that they are given as y is equal to x cube. But here what they are asking, is y is equal to x plus 1 whole cube. Now this cube, in place of x plus 1 is present. In this case, what I have to do is, if it is plus 1, I should move the curve towards left side for 1 unit. If it is minus 1, I should move the curve towards right side for 1 unit. Since it is plus 1, I am moving the curve towards left side for 1 unit. Same diagram I am drawing, but 1 unit left of the original diagram. So this is nothing but y equal to x plus 1 the whole cube. Right, we will see the next few problems in the next video. Thank you, children.